Okay, we are going to turn to the fruit. As you already know, a fruit is a matured and a ripened ovary, wherein the ovary walls gets converted into the fruit wall pericarp, differentiated into outer epicarp, middle mesocarp, and inner endocarp, and the ovules will turn into the seeds. Okay, this is all is the fruits. So three main categories of fruits are recognized. It's a simple, aggregate, and a composite. So sometimes we call it some multiple fruits. Simple fruits developing from a single ovary of the flower. Aggregate fruits developing from several free couples within the flower. Okay, and the composite or multiple fruits involving several flowers of or the whole in fluorescence. So the simple fruits where we have a single flower. So here are a number of different kinds of simple fruits. Now, fruit structure is pretty complex, and the fruit terminology is pretty complex, not as bad as in fluorescence in inflorescence terminology. We are going to try to keep it very simple by talking about whether the fruit is fleshy or dry. In this case, and then also we want to look at whether they are open or not. So dehiscent means to open, and in means not. So therefore these are fruits that are dry and not opening. Simple, dry. Okay, we try to differentiate between dry and fleshy, and then we have the try to look at is this dehiscent or indehiscent. So we start with the simple dry indehiscent fruit. Indehiscent means not open. Okay, uh, and the only that you know the best, I think, suppose you should know the best is the grain. Okay, the grain are things like rice or corn kernel. A rice grain, and I know I mean whole grain rice here, not the white rice, the beras that you bought from the store that has been processed. Where you white rice is something different. It's not the full fruit by whole. But so it's not a full fruit by whole rice grain. The unpolished one is the full fruit. Okay, to understand that kind of fruit, it's really help to contrast it with this another kind of fruit. We start with the akin one. Okay, and you know this from what you call from a sunflower. So you know that I'm going to call this a sunflower seeds with a parenthesis here, sunflower seeds, because they are not really seeds. The one that you take, the kwachi that you eat, it's not the sunflower seeds. So if you take a sunflower and you get the sunflower kernels and buy a sunflower kernels, we call it as a kwachi. I mean that thing that you have to crack open to get the edible part. Okay, to get the edible part. The edible part, they are actually sunflower fruits. That's the whole fruit. That's the edible part. Okay, and then that outer coating on the sunflower is called the pericarp. So that's the outer hard coating of the uh, sunflower seeds, in quotes, and that's really not a seed. It is that outer hard fruit wall. That's the pericarp. Okay, and then inside that you have the part that the birds want to eat, or if you like sunflower seeds that you crack open and spit out the hard part, that's the pericarp, and you eat the inside, and that is the seeds. That's the actual seed in that case. Okay, but in the grain, okay, that's the seed inside that, and then the outer part is pericarp. So the whole kwachi with the hard part is the fruit. Is a fruit. Okay, kwachi is a fruit. Remember that. But in the grain, you have the pericarp completely fused onto the seeds. That's the difference between akin and also the grain. So don't call it rice seeds because it's not a seed, because it's a fruit. Okay, we have okay, but in the grain we have the pericarp completely fused to the seed. So in the grain, the pericarp that equals the ovary wall is completely fused to the seed coat. So the grain is The grain is really a fruit that looks like it's a seed, because you can't separate the whole the wall of the ovary and the wall of the fruit from the seeds. They are fused together. So that's why you have to do special things to create the white rice, the beras. You have to get that outer wall of the outer wall of there by polishing. Sometimes we call it a bleaching. Not use the bleach per se. The different types of simple indehiscent fruits are just variations on kins. I don't want you to have to memorize all these different terms. Let's just look at what the differences are. Well, look at what the differences are. So this one is the utricle. Okay, you see here there's a big area between the pericarp and the seed in the samara. This is the wing. So this is the wing. We have the wing. So so that the fruit wall has been extended. The fruit wall has been extended into the wing. And then in a nut, nut like a walnut, there is a thick, leathery pericarp. So if you want, sometimes usually they just, when you buy the walnut, what will have the walnut, for instance, you actually usually they crack open the pericarp. Okay. So now we are going to turn to simple dry. Okay, still simple dry, but dehiscent. So now dehiscent fruits that open up. Uh, there's three kinds shown here. Here is a legume. So here's a legume. It is kind of fruit we can find in the bean family, the Fabaceae. The legume is a fruit that opens up on two sides. Okay, legume open up on two sides. There is two lines of dehiscence of opening here. Okay, line of dehiscence here. Okay, there is a line of dehiscence of opening, uh, uh, and so it flies up into these two valves. It can open up and it can become the two valves. So a legume is a single carpel, and it opens into two slides, like two sides, like this. A follicle, in other hand, is again one couple, but it only opens on one side, opens along one line. So one line of dehiscence here. Uh, okay, and then there's a silic, and the silical. They are essentially the same. They just differ because one's long, slick is long, and one and thin. Another one is short and squat. So that's the difference. Otherwise, they are the same, almost the same in terms of the fruit. So this is a simple dry dehiscent fruit. A few more simple dehiscent fruits. Looks like a very complex slide here. Let's try. I want to simplify a little bit. Mainly, we are going to look at the on the top here. All these are the we can call it as a capsule, but we got forms of capsules. So these on the top, we are just all called capsules, types of capsules. Okay. And how do they differ from each other? Okay, they differ in the way that they open. Okay, so a capsule is just a dry dehiscent fruit that is more than one couple. Is the difference between a legume and a follicle and a capsule. Follicle, legume, those are one couple. These are more than one couple. You can see that here we have one with three locules, and they open in different ways. Okay, have different open in different ways. Down below, there is a no real name that unites all of these, but I just found some literature, some books talking about, they call it as schizo. Okay, there's one lecture that call this group schizo. Schizo fruit is just a made up name, so I can group them. Schizo means opening or splitting. So there are fruits that splits in different ways. So these are the some again, there's a second slide on the simple dry dehiscent fruit. Now we are going to look at fleshy fruits. Simple fleshy fruits are simple fleshy fruits are basically all indehiscent fruits, not open. All are indehiscent. They get open up because an animal comes and eats them. We eat them. We eat the flesh. Okay. We are going we are going to call all of the simple fleshy fruits berries. It's not same like strawberries, blackberries. No, they just call as the group as berries. So all of these types of terms that we've got down here, we have a drupe, we have a people, and then we have hesperidium, we have the pome, are really all just variations on berries, and they occur in different specific families. For instance, the people, maybe I say people. Okay, the people here is in the Cucurbitaceae, the melon family, the pumpkin family. The hesperidium is basically the oranges. Again, you look basically just like a orange here, right? It's a family of oranges or Rutaceae. Pome is in specific genus, the genus Malus, the apple genus. So this is apple genus, or in the family Rosaceae. Okay, and the drupe. In again very common in the Rosaceae also. In many other of the genera except for the Malus. So the Malus the Malus basically in the form of pome. Okay, so here's the basic idea uh, of the berry. So it just got a fleshy pericarp, so we can divide that pericarp into different parts, but that's the basic idea of fleshy pericarp, and usually indehiscent. That brings to our complex or compound fruits, and the first type of those are aggregate fruits which come from one flower. So there are one flower, but there are many. Let's just say more than one pistils. So one flower, but have more than one have more than one pistils. Or we could also say more than one couple on this term. These are aggregate. These are aggregate fruits, and there's different kinds. So perhaps the easiest one are things like the blackberry or the raspberry. So this is different between the berry, like a simple fleshy fruits that we just discussed right now. This is the different this is just the name. Okay, so if you look at the raspberry, I don't know if you are familiarized with the raspberry or blackberry. They've got a little stem, and if you look at the top of that, you would see the calyx, and if you plop that raspberry off, and if you look underneath, there's a little hole. That hole was where the receptacle was. So each of these is one couple. So each of these one small thing is one couple, or one pistil. Okay, so I'm going to say that one free couple, one pistil, and each of these couples then has a fleshy outer covering. So this has a fleshy outer. So this is one drupe actually. So and then everyone has one seed. So each one, okay, uh, and each of those couples has a fleshy outer coverings, and there's a seed inside. So there's a seed inside, but that's all held together in that little berry. Okay, small blackberry. Okay. On the other hand, the strawberry is almost the same basic idea, except now the sweet juicy part is what we eat. We eat the receptacles. The receptacle is already came off, but now we are eating the receptacle in this movie, and these little dots. If I'll just say the black dots here, the black dots here. So we can take it out here. This is the black dots I'm talking. Those are the couples or the pistils. So we've got multiple couples, multiple pistils, and there is one that's been pulled out, and you can see each one has a pericarp around it. Each one has a pericarp around it, and then on the side there is the seed. Okay, so each one of those is a little fruit, but they are all held together by that big receptacles. Okay, so you not remember that you're not eating the fruit, you are eating the receptacle. Okay, if you go and look at a strawberry, remember that. Okay, over here on the far side, we see there's some kind of idea on an aggregate fruit, but now that unit is a follicle. Okay, this unit of drupe, this is unit is a akin, and then this is unit of follicle. You have seen this in magnolias. The individual follicle opening along one line, all held together within the receptacle. So these are receptacle, so all in the at the center. Receptacle in the center, so all follicles are attached to the receptacle. So there will be receptacle here at the center holding all those follicles together. So finally, the composite or multiple fruits are another kind of complex fruit, if I can say. In this case, we have really an inflorescence. Okay, so it's a fruit made out of an inflorescence. Okay, which means that there is more than one flower. Simplest case, I think the most easier way to look at it that is a pineapple. So in the pineapple we have, since pineapple we have those little hexagonal this is sorry this small hexagonal section of the fruits, and those are each individual flowers. These are each individual flowers. This will be easier when you have a pineapple in front of you. Go by and then look at it. Okay, this here are when you look at and then look at pick this one. This is one flower. Take it out, and this is the ovary. In the this area here, this is all the ovary. In other words, is a fruit. So each of those is an ovary, and taken together, all stuck together, we have a multiple fruit. So a fruit composed of many individual flowers. In other groups, here's a genus sorry, uh, the genus Platanus. Okay, in the family of Plataginaceae, it has again multiple flowers. Okay, there is one flower stuck together. There's one flower stuck together in an inflorescence which has now matured, so that each flower becomes a fruit, but the fruits are all stuck together, so it is a multiple fruit. The fig here is the family Moraceae. It's got the same, almost the same idea with this genus Xanthium. It's got a multiple flowers inside here, and it's stuck together to form a multiple fruit. Okay, well, that's the review for the basic terminology for fruit. Of course, I can't cover everything here. You may go out and look at the fruits around you. We live in a tropical region. We have rich of fruits. Look at them and try to associate with the terminologies that we have discussed. Just like for other vegetative terminology, you should be familiar with these terms so that you can use them if you would encounter them, and you can refer to the textbook for any description not covered